It's wonderful to see everybody together again. I know last year was a huge celebration coming back after COVID, and I think maybe we've even exceeded numbers from there. It's going to be a fun year. I know I'm excited. I'm sure all of you are excited. So my name is Colin Gardner-Springer. I'm the new First Tech Challenge Coordinator for High Tech Kids, replacing Norm Tiedemann, who's on the job for the last 5 years. I know many of you because I've been a FTC coach, a parent, volunteer, lead coordinator for the last 8 years or so. It's a wonderful program, I love it, and I'm really excited to continue to push the program forward in my new role. And I look forward to getting to meet those of you who I haven't yet met. So High Tech Kids is a nonprofit organization in Minnesota who runs the First Tech Challenge along with First Lego League Explore and First Lego League Challenge programs. We're a nonprofit organization. This is our staff. You'll see a number of us around here today in purple shirts. Cheryl, Bruce, I see. We've got Heather, we've got Vicki, Barb. Jeannie is not here today, but Jeannie is a huge part of our program. And Norm is still kind of around, so you'll see him. He's not wearing his purple shirt, but he's helping out a lot. So I appreciate his help as well. As a nonprofit, we definitely need to thank our sponsors. And our season presenting sponsors this year are Collins Aerospace, Stratasys, Boston Scientific, Seagate, Ecolab, and TE Connectivity. And I'd love to give them a round of applause for the support they've given. Kickoff specifically, we've been here at the University of Minnesota for Kickoff every year for a long time. And we really appreciate that the College of Science and Engineering at the University of Minnesota has stepped up and helped sponsor this event as the presenting sponsor. It helps us a lot. So thank you, College of Science and Engineering. And as a special treat today, we have the Dean of the College of Science and Engineering, Dr. Andrew Alim, and he's going to share a few words with you this morning. Yeah, come on up.
Good morning. Good morning. You can do better than that. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. It's so good to be here. First and foremost, I apologize for the orange and blue tie in the photo. It comes from my old institution. I am the new Dean of the College of Science and Engineering, and I'm so glad to see all of you out here. Started in January, and one of the key things that I wanted to do the first 6, 7, 8 months is to really listen and learn and see what the College of Science and Engineering does here on campus, but also how it interacts with some of our external organizations. And one of the really impressive things was the involvement with the organizations such as First Tech, First Tech Challenge, where some of our alums as well as some of our current folks on campus get involved. This is actually a really exciting and energizing way for us to communicate our passion for science and engineering to the next generation. So this has actually been a highlight of a lot of the listening and learning that I've done. I can tell you that, and the parents may think this, may get this more than the students do, but the interaction with the First Tech Challenge, First Tech Kids, is way more fun than budget meetings or personnel review. And so when I say that interacting with you all is sort of like a highlight of my week, it's actually true. There's sort of 3 things that I've been focusing on in my time as Dean, after I've had a chance to learn a little bit more about the organization, the people that are part of it. And a key thing that we are focused on here at College of Science and Engineering is growth. I was talking with Jerry and Heather a couple minutes ago, and honest to God, as the new person, I get introduced to a lot of folks, corporate leaders in the community, and the first thing that we do is we exchange pleasantries. Hi, my name is, and you know, where are you from, blah, blah. The second thing is always them telling me, well, we need more engineers. And so, you know, we realize that, and we are committed to try and grow the College of Engineering and attract more of the best and brightest minds, such as yourselves, and find a place for you here and help you then be successful. That growth is critical, and hopefully I get to see many of you in a few years here to be part of that. The second thing is really partnerships. I often use the pithy phrase, sort of hashtag stronger together. We're going to be better as a community, we're going to be better as a state and as a country as we work together to solve big problems. Partnering with organizations such as the High Tech Challenge, High Tech Kids, FIRST, all of these activities is critical for us to, in the science and engineering, help develop some of the young minds. And every once in a while, we actually learn something really cool about a way to implement a kinematic mechanism or something like that, that out of materials that we didn't think about that's a little bit cheaper. You go, oh, cool, that's pretty good. You came and put that yourself, that's awesome. So these types of partnerships, I think, are vital. The third thing that we're looking for is sort of leadership and impact. We're going to develop the leaders of tomorrow, and really want them to go out and not just do science and engineering, but do science and engineering that's going to mean something, that's going to help people, that's going to have an impact, that's going to change the world some way, somehow. And many of our students that have gone before have done that. People that have invented a pacemaker, for example, and many other technological innovations that change lives, save lives, protect the planet. We're counting on those that we develop to help us do that. And we're really hoping that you can be part of that as a partner today, potentially as a future student, a future alum in a few years. And with that, to try and really make the case for why we want you to come to CSE a little bit, I have a little video here I'd like to play. That was just to make sure you're awake.
From high school, I knew that I wanted to do something with math and science and engineering and all those disciplines. And when I found the University of Minnesota, it was like the perfect combination of a really, really good engineering school with the spirit and the energy of a Big Ten campus.
I was more interested in the College of Science and Engineering than any of the other colleges here because they offered a wide variety of majors and classes that I could take to really figure out what my interest really was in the sciences.
So because we don't have to declare a major till about sophomore fall or sophomore year, I knew that I could take all of freshman year to explore all the different majors that were available.
Being able to see these different perspectives has granted so much insight to what I'm studying, and I think that collaboration, being the College of Science and Engineering, is helpful to any student.
The University of Minnesota is a top research university, which means that there's a lot of professors here eager to get undergraduates working with them.
In my lab, I get to work with some of the most advanced characterization and state-of-the-art equipment, which allows us to conduct research and also gives you the skills that you would need going into an industry setting.
At first, I was a little, intimidated by professors. I was like, oh, you're doing all this stuff, you don't really have time to talk to students, but then you go to their office hours and you realize, oh, you really do care about the material you're teaching and the students you're teaching it to.
What I like most about being a CSE student are hands down the student groups. There's so many of them, a whole variety, and we have multiple activities fairs throughout the year, so there's no excuse for not being involved with the student group.
There's so many ways to get involved in CSE leadership. You can get involved with the actual student body and governing and organizing the way the college runs, but you can also get involved on the more technical side.
The leadership opportunities that I have, that I'm currently doing at the university, has helped me grow as a person. Before I was very shy, kept to myself, didn't really want to interact with too many people, but being at this university has helped me realize that you need to be out there, you need to be interacting with different people.
One of the coolest things about being in CSE specifically at the University of Minnesota is just how kind of willing they are to work with students about studying abroad. You could go for a full semester, or you could do something shorter, maybe a summer trip, or you could do what I did, which is where I went in May for 3 weeks to Scandinavia. And I was actually able to earn college credit for that trip, so it helped me get ahead in my career.
There's a lot of reasons to come to the University of Minnesota, but personally for me, it has to be the Twin Cities. St. Paul and Minneapolis, they're absolutely gorgeous cities, and they're full of opportunities regarding everything, honestly.
There's over 17 Fortune 500 companies in the area, which is just amazing as far as a student who's looking to get a job after college.
The University of Minnesota and the state of Minnesota partners with some of the surrounding states and has reciprocity programs. They offer awesome scholarships. I was able to receive some money to come here.
I'm an international student from Mexico, and I came and I just made friends from so many different countries, and just everyone has been really welcoming.
CSE has so many groups and opportunities for everyone to feel included. There's so many people from all different walks of life, so it's easy to find a home away from home.
So hopefully you can see, this is a great place to be. It's a great place to be a student. We welcome everybody, all. There's a place for everybody here. If there is not a program that fits your interests, I'll make a bet that we have a program to fit almost every interest. If there's not, that's an opportunity to exercise your leadership and create. Okay, so we hope to see you here in these programs. Happy to see you here in these programs. But we also hope to see you here on campus as a student. And with that, I cannot resist my natural professor tendencies and take a question or two from the audience. Is there anything that, if you had the opportunity, ask a dean? Now's your shot. All right, then. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day. Good luck with your travels.
Thank you, Dean. That was inspirational. I just started a new job, but I'm already thinking maybe I should apply for the College of Science and Engineering. You may have something new next year. We'll see. I know we've had so many alumni participate in. I want to make sure I'm running the right presentation here. Yeah, this is the one. We've had so many students participate in this College of Science and Engineering. So I encourage you, and they have wonderful programming. Okay, so one quick thing. We have teams pre-registered for this event. If you're from Robotic Raiders 14223, Artemis and Apollo 14521, or 16232 Circuit Breakers, you haven't entered your raffle tickets. So if you can talk to Vicky, who's over there, maybe right after this on your way to the breakout session, make sure you get your names in there if you're here. Okay, so high-tech kids and FIRST can be a bit confusing. We are high-tech kids in the purple shirts. FIRST is the organization which puts together the programming that we're running, the games that we play. So the game reveal we see at 11 is going to be FIRST's game. They're a New Hampshire nonprofit, around 140 students. They run all of the programs, FIRST Robotics, FIRST Tech Challenge, FIRST LEGO League, all the FIRST LEGO Leagues, and you pay registration to them to form a team. Registration doesn't include events, you pay us for the events. So you're going to sign up for your qualifiers or your leagues through High Tech Kids. There are 7 of us, I showed you that slide, and we run the programs in Minnesota. So 2 nonprofits, we work closely together on this program. High Tech Kids, as the local partner, we do a lot of things to try to help you. Specifically, if you're a rookie team, we offer rookie coach training. We train the volunteers and make sure that we have good volunteers at our events. We're blessed to have wonderful volunteers at all of our events. We're so proud of them. And yeah, we organize and coordinate the leagues. We work with local tournament directors, but we're at all of the events making sure that they run as smoothly as possible. Any questions that any of you have, please reach out, specifically to me or any of us. If you like, you can talk to me later. I'll give you a business card. I'm happy to, again, anytime, send me an email, call me. I'd love to talk. I love First Tech Challenge. I want to want to be in touch with you guys, and we want to make sure this is the program that you want to be excited to participate in. So rookie coach training I talked about briefly. We sort of go over everything you need to know if you're a first-year team and you haven't coached it before, or maybe you're a second-year coach and you kind of realize maybe you missed some things the first year, you want to come back and learn. We have an upcoming session on Sunday, October 2nd. It's running from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m., which will be at our office in Beacon. You're welcome to participate. You do need to RSVP for that, and I think the RSVP link should be going live on the website early next week. So we'll also send a blast from that, so make sure you're reading those emails from High Tech Kids. Okay, this year we are expecting all in-person events as we had last year. Obviously, nobody knows what's going to happen. We're going to follow all CDC, Minnesota Department of Health guidelines. We're going to follow directives from the schools and the host organizations. Everybody is welcome to wear a mask to all of our events. You're encouraged to if you'd like, but you're not required to. As of now, that could change. If circumstances worsen, we may at some point require masks at events as we did last year. But as of now, it's based on recommendation from the schools and the health authorities. Spectators are always welcome to watch our games. Last year, we limited access to the pits and the judging rooms. We're not sure what we're going to do this year. We'll let you know before the tournament. Hopefully, we can have people going back to the pits and visiting. The judging rooms, we always want to limit so that it's not too crowded in there. So the judges in each room are the final deciders of how many can go in the room. And please respect that if you're parents. We don't want 15 parents in the back of the room. But, you may be allowed in this year. We haven't decided yet. Okay, there are two options for First Tech Challenge events in Minnesota. We have qualifier play, which is a traditional all-day event involving judged awards. You meet with judges, you talk about what you've done as a team, and you also run robot matches, and then at the end of the day there's alliances and head-to-head competition to determine the best robot alliance, and also awards presented to the best all-around teams and specific awards. You're able to participate in up to 2 of them. And I strongly encourage you, if you're doing qualifiers, to do 2. I think it's a sort of a sad season if you spend all the time, you learn a lot of things, you go to a competition, and you know what, you learn half of what you learn is going to be at that competition. You're going to learn what wasn't as robust as you thought it should be. Or maybe you shouldn't have been building the robot until 11 o'clock and then handed it off to the programmers the night before. Maybe you should have set a stop date a week before and taken some time to do drive practice. Things like that you learn in your first competition. It's nice to have a second one in your pocket so that you can apply those experiences without having to wait an entire year. League play is our other option, and I am really a proponent of league play. I was a league coordinator for several years. League play is kind of, if you want to be competing a lot and do rapid iterations, league play is probably for you. You would participate in 3 official meets, and all of our leagues actually have an unofficial meet 0, so you actually play in 4 meets, just robot play, no judging. The same teams at all 4 meets, so you get to know them really well. It's a great way if you're a rookie team and you can build a robot quick enough. It's a great way to get to know the community earlier than you would if you were participating in qualifiers. So you do the 3 meets, you kind of build up a robot score, it's kind of like the regular season. And then you go into your qualifier, your league qualifier. You can think of that as being like the playoffs. You've got kind of a regular season record, which seeds you into the qualifier. You play additional matches, which gives you your final ranking. And everything else that happens at a regular qualifier happens at a league qualifier. Judging, robot matches, elimination matches, awards, and advancement to state. And I should point out that you can do 2 qualifiers or 1 league qualifier, but we make the same ratio of teams advance to state, so there isn't a disadvantage to doing qualifiers. You might think, I can do 2 events here versus 1 there. The reality is the league qualifiers have more advancing positions than the regular ones do. The caveat I would say for league play is you need to have a robot that can move by October 15th or so. So, if you're just starting now, maybe that's not the time to do it. If you can have a robot moving by October 15th, you don't need to do everything at the first meet. Nobody does. But, you show up at meet 1 with a moving robot. Meet 2, you put on a manipulator that can start to do something at an autonomous. The goal is in January, you have a full working robot. All right, if you're not registered nationally, please do it. $295 per team. As of this morning, I just checked, we have 92 teams in Minnesota. That compares to 98 last year. But last year, kickoff was a week later, so I think we're pretty much on track with where we were last year. I'd love to be ahead. I'd love to see us back where we were in 2019, where we have 151 at this point, and we ended up around 200. So hopefully, if I've heard anecdotally, a lot of schools are adding teams. That's fantastic. It would really help us if you could register them as soon as possible, so we know what our actual numbers will be. I talked a little bit about league play and qualifier play. I don't want to spend much time on these slides. League play registration opens September 19th. So you'll want to decide by then, and I would encourage you to register on September 19th, because we're going to want to know if we have enough teams for the leagues we're planning on. Technically it closes September 30th, but again, please register at the beginning of that window. I think one of our leagues has their Week 0 on September 29th, which is before the closing of the window. So if you want to be in that league, you definitely want to be registered before September 30th. And again, you get to pick your league and your league qualifier if you're doing leagues. So you don't, the schedule is set, it's on our website, you can go and see where they are and decide if you want to do that. The qualifiers are also on our website if you want to go that route. Qualifier registration is a bit later, we're pushing it to October 12th, and it says Wave 2, October 14th to September 19th. Clearly the end date there is incorrect. I think I put the league date in the wrong place. But basically October 7th is Wave 1 registration, and then a week later, October 14th, I believe, is Wave 2 registration. That's all on our website. We do require the High Tech Kids demographic form. Those of you who are returning teams have done that before. If you're new, we'll send reminders. We want to make sure that we have everything we legally need. You also need to do the first consent and release. And on our High Tech Kids website, you'll find all that under required forms. Gracious professionalism is important. There's a wonderful quote here from Woody Flowers, who's sort of the spirit and founder of First Tech Challenge, or First Robotics across the board, all the programs. He, together with Dean, came and made this the program it is today. Woody sadly passed away a few years ago, but he was all about gracious professionalism and cooperation. The idea that we compete really hard, but we're not trying to destroy each other. We're working together to lift each other up. If you're a new team, you come in here, it's a little intimidating. All the people in their fancy uniforms, their hats, everybody seems to know everybody, and you don't know anybody. It's like, it's scary. But the reality is, you're going to be here next year, and you're going to look around, and you're going to see a room full of friends. That's the program First Tech Challenge is. And that's because of gracious professionalism and Dr. Flowers. So yeah, we don't want to be chest thumping and rah-rah in your face, none of that stuff. All of us, including parents, coaches, we're trying to cheer everybody on, lift everybody up. We have a challenge this year. The global supply chain situation means that Rev Robotics does not currently have any control hubs or expansion hubs, which is the brains of our robot that runs our robots. The good news is that they are expecting that they will have a limited supply of control hubs in the next month, starting late in September, which are going to be distributed to 2,000 teams, which sounds like a lot, but this is globally, and this includes classrooms that are doing First Tech Challenge. This will only be going to teams that registered or request one through the first dashboard. I don't believe it's likely that Rev Robotics will be selling them at all this year. And I don't think we're going to see expansion hubs for sale this year. So this is kind of a gut punch for all of us. So what do we do? If you're a rookie team, number one, you need to get registered in first, go into the dashboard and purchase a control hub. It won't be available to ship right away, but by purchasing it, you get in line. So when they do start shipping them at the end of September, you should be shipped one as soon as available. As of last week, I think they were going to do 500 per week for 4 weeks. As of last week, they had 340 orders. So maybe if you were to register right now, maybe you would be in the first week, the first wave, the first 500. I don't know, maybe not. The second week at least, you want to get in there as soon as possible. Because if you wait a month to do this, you're not going to get one through, you're not going to get a new one through Rev. So please do that. We want as many hubs as we can in Minnesota. And as a rookie team, you help us by doing that. If you order one, you get more hubs in Minnesota. So part two is we need those of you who have extra hubs, you have demo robots, you know of teams that have expired and they have parts left behind. We want you to either donate or sell those hubs to us, or loan or give those to other rookie teams. We want to make sure every hub in Minnesota is used to run a robot in First Tech Challenge in Minnesota this year. So this is gracious professionalism. We really want every rookie that wants to participate to be able to participate. So please, if you know of a hub, contact me. My email address up there, colin@hightechkids.org. It's kind of a skill test there. In order to get to me, you have to put one L in my name, C-O-L-I-N, at hightechkids.org. If you put 2 L's in there, I don't know where it goes, but I'm not going to see it. So 1 L is probably what you want to do. Colin@hightechkids.org. If you're not sure if you'll remember that again, ask me for a business card later. But yes, please let me know if you want to help a rookie team. On our website, we have a Control Hub information section under First Tech Challenge, and that's where you go if you want to donate a hub to high-tech kids. If you don't know a rookie team, you want to donate it to us, or we will buy them back, and the pricing is available on the website. We're pretty much willing to pay close to what it's worth. We'll test them and make sure the ports are good, and that's it. And then we'll sell them back to teams. So if you're a team that needs a hub, you can go to that same part of our website, Control Hub information, fill out the form, hub request, teams in need of a hub. Chances are, I suspect, what we're mostly going to get donated are expansion hubs. The difference if you're new is a Control Hub has everything. It has the brains and the plugs for the motors and everything. Expansion hubs have the motor plugs, but it doesn't have the brains. So in order to work, you have to plug an Android phone on your robot as well. The Control Hub has a built-in Android phone. They're functionally equivalent. So if you are a rookie team and you get a hub through us, it may be an expansion hub, and you may have to control it with a phone. But rest assured that you're not at a competitive disadvantage in the sense that you can do everything that a team with a Control Hub can do. The final thing we want to mention here is you're only going to be able to get one hub this year if you're a rookie team. It's legal to have two hubs on a robot, a Control Hub and an expansion hub. So the issue is, what if I want to control more than 4 motors? That's the primary reason most teams add a second hub, is so they can do 6 or 8 motors. And there's only 4 plugs in a Control Hub. Fortunately, Rev sells this Spark Mini motor controller, which allows you to control additional motors from the same hub through a servo port. So you can control up to 8 motors from one hub by using 4 of the servo ports for 4 additional motors. These are in stock at Rev Robotics. I encourage you to order soon in case they get out of stock. Rev is notorious for parts not staying in stock. So if you're thinking you might do that, I encourage you to order a few of those. It would be helpful to have the power distribution block that I showed you there, because each of these needs a power plug, and the Control Hub only has one power plug on it. So I would order that if it were available. As of today, it's not available on Rev's website. So you may need to do some wire cutting and splicing. If you're doing that, make sure you're using the right gauge and checking the game manual part 1 so you don't show up at competition with a legally wired robot. All right, I hope that's enough of the Control Hub, but it is an issue. We're doing the best we can. We're really committed to making sure anybody who wants to compete can compete. And we rely on you, those of you who don't leave a hub of any sort lying on a shelf. If it's got dust on it at the end of the season, that could be a team that couldn't compete. So Game Manual Part 1 came out this summer. Game Manual Part 2 will be out shortly after 11. And a couple of changes I want to highlight. The rankings have changed. In the past 2 years, the rankings have been based on your total alliance points. This year, it's going to be based on your win-loss record, your win percentage primarily, and secondarily will be on your average autonomous points scored by your alliance. So it really focuses on autonomous. I encourage you to, again, don't build your robot to the 9th hour, the 11th hour. Make sure that you're done and you give it to the drive team to practice driving and to the coding team to build an autonomous, because that's critical this year. The team scoring element is also a bit different this year. You may have noticed you can bring 2 scoring elements to a competition, one red and one blue. If you're the blue alliance, you'll bring your blue one to the field. If you're the red alliance, you'll bring the red one to the field. The dimensions have slightly changed. They're between 3x3x3 inch cube and 4x4x4 inch cube. So, again, you should know everything in the Game Manual Part 1. So, veteran teams, I hope I'm not telling you anything you didn't already know. You want to be reading the Game Manual, know all the rules that are there. Today, the Game Manual 2 is going to come out. You want to make sure you understand all the rules specific to this game. And then, over the coming weeks, the Q&A forums are going to open. ftc-q8.firstinspires.org. And that's where they put the rules they hadn't thought of. Teams ask questions. It's like, oh yeah, that's a situation we didn't consider. They tell you how they're going to score strange situations. Speaking of the team scoring element, oftentimes teams will 3D print that. Stratasys offers 3D printing to teams. There's a place on our website under the team resources page, parts, hardware, software, and 3D printing that gives you instructions. You upload an electronic file, Stratasys prints it, and they either ship it to you or you can pick it up. It's a wonderful program, and we appreciate them doing that. Engineering portfolio. There's a lot of talk about engineering portfolio, engineering notebook. Engineering portfolio is where you want to put your effort. It's a 15-page document plus a cover page. You want to have something for all the awards you're going for. It needs to be there. It needs to be clear, comprehensive. You want to make the judges tell them something about everything you're doing, but make them want to go to you and get more. And then Supporting materials could be our engineering notebook. Judges may not necessarily collect that, but you want to have somewhere something if they ask further questions about, can I see your CAD files, can I see your code? You want to be able to show them that, or your outreach log, or whatever it is. All right, qualifier submissions, we've done it electronically the last few years. We may do it in paper this year. We'll let you know. Please, again, check our emails, read them, because we're going to let you know information like that. And there will be coach calls before each month's qualifiers, which you should attend on details like that. Purple Gear Awards are awards for teams that do outreach and want to be recognized. I'd like to congratulate the 6 teams listed above there who earned the Purple Gear Award last year. Look on our webpage, the details are there for that. The winner of the Inspire Award State Championship will get $1,000 to help them towards travel to Houston for Worlds, thanks to Salesforce and Team 6389 Lazy Bots. Dean's List Award. Coaches should be thinking, if you have 10th and 11th graders on your team, about who merits consideration for this individual award that's given across the first programs. Each team can nominate up to 2 semifinalists. Minnesota typically will select 3 or 4 of those who are finalists and get to go to the World Championships. At the World Championships, 10 are selected from around the world. Minnesota's had 3 in past history, and we actually have 1 this year. You'll be seeing them in the video later this morning. Very exciting. Aspirations in computing. Some of you have talked to Russ Frankel over there at that table. They run a wonderful programming. Anybody who is 9th to 12th grade identify as woman, genderqueer, or non-binary, please talk to Russ. They have some wonderful opportunities for you, and I highly encourage you. I think he will be here after kickoff as well, so if you didn't talk to him before, he will be here following the reveal. You can look at the field and then talk to Russ or vice versa. All right, Stratasys scholarships, you can apply anytime. This is a $250 award for Stratasys individual. Pick one of these categories. They're awarded at state, but your team does not have to qualify for state. So again, applications are open now. You could do this, get it out of the way, and not think about it right before state. Social media, high-tech kids, if you're holding a scrimmage or an event or something, we can't send an email blast about that. But if you have social media, you can tweet it or post it wherever, and we can share that information through our social media. Notice you can't ask us, I need to reach out to the coach of so-and-so team. We can't share information for privacy information. So if you need to talk to coaches, today would be a great day to do that. Get their contact information. We always need volunteers for our events. We have a fantastic pool, but it hasn't grown to the extent that it needs to. And COVID, like everything else, it's shrunk a little bit. So we encourage coaches, parents, teams, if you're visiting corporations. If you see people working at a corporation who seem really excited about your robot, those are the kind of people. Maybe they want to come and be a judge at one of our events, or they want to be a referee or whatever. Keep that in mind. Contact me if you run across any potential volunteers. Helen@hightechkids.org. We'd love to get them helping out at our competitions. Or contact Barb, who is our volunteer coordinator. If they, maybe become more comfortable with younger kids for Cycle Lead Explorer Challenge. And for FTC teams, you can help out at our FLL Explorer and FLL Challenge. So consider that as outreach for your team. We always need volunteers, and we really appreciate the ones we have. And we do train our volunteers as well. So if you have volunteers in mind, we'll be offering training over the next 6 weeks or so, which would be free training. I encourage them to come to that. Okay, we're getting close to the kickoff sessions. Don't get up now, but in a few minutes, we're going to walk across the Brunix. Okay. We're going to be entering Brunix Hall on the 3rd floor. I think Cheryl at the back is going to be leading a group of us, so she's waving. Again, don't go yet. Breakout rooms are on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floor. So you're going to go on the 3rd floor. If the session you're interested in is on the 3rd floor, you're good to go. Otherwise, you go up or down 1 floor. There's a schedule just outside that door. You can take a picture of it. It has a barcode on it that you can scan, which will take you to a link of the details. There's another one like that in Brunix on the entry. And every room has a schedule on the room as well, showing all the sessions in all the rooms. So hopefully there's information there. At the check-in table, if you took a picture of the schedule that was at the check-in table, unfortunately there was an error. I think we posted last year's schedule. So double check that you have the right schedule. Maybe look in the back there. We really appreciate the 9 teams who are giving breakout sessions today. We had so many submissions We weren't able to take more than one per team because we had so many teams, we only have so many rooms. This is the schedule again. It'll be on that sign's back there. And for coaches and parents, there's a coaches roundtable in the second session, which I encourage you to attend. You can connect with other coaches. We have a Slack channel for Minnesota Mentors, great resource if you have questions through the season. If you have questions, I think we'll have some league coordinators, at least one league coordinator there, so you can ask questions about leagues. Just anything you want to know about First Tech Challenge is a great place to go. And finally, before we go, I'm new to this. There are very strict rules about leaks, but I figured I'd slide in a little leak just before we go to the breakout. So this is a little snip for the game manual part 2, which is not officially released, so you may not see me next year. I might have to go to the College of Science and Engineering because I've been fired, but just a little teaser for what we're going to be seeing in the game manual part 2. Here's the definition of the launched term. Launching, according to the game manual, is defined as propelling game elements through the air or water above the playing field floor. So something to look forward to. So thank you.